this. I feel so techie.
All
Okay, but I
right.
can't do the other ones now because it won't let me.
Which other ones?
The Facebook.
It's probably all of them when you do the.
All right.
All right.
Awesome.
Good deal. All right. I am going to spotlight you. I'm going to start admitting friends. And add myself to you.
Awesome. We got this, Kim. We got this.
Yes, we do. It's 10 o'clock. Let's roll.
Awesome. Okay, so welcome everybody to the Connect Show with Jon and Tracy. But we have Kim today instead of Jon. She's much prettier than Jon, anyways.
Oh.
Where we join you each week to celebrate small business ownership and provide you the resources you need to be successful.
So we would like to support you in your journey. One thing we definitely want to talk about is we have every Friday at 10 a.m. Central our brand new Wisconsin Epic Networking event. And we will give you links for that in the chat a little bit later, but definitely join us on Friday mornings.
And if you're in the Zoom land right now, but you have not liked our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube channels, please do that. If you're out on any one of these streaming things like Facebook or LinkedIn or anything like that, or out in the Zoom land and want to reach out to us, you can email us at theideas@theconnectshow.com. And we will try to answer any of your questions. Today, our guests are
If you're not on Zoom, join us on Bitly. Did you say
yes.
that? Bit.ly.
No,
I'm sorry, I
say
missed
that.
Yeah, you could. I'll add it. Today, our guests are Yamil Cruz from Leaders Make Leaders and Megan Schwan from Sidekick Accounting.
And next week, we have another show on finances because we're doing this whole month on finances. We're having Taylor Scott and Sean Stockman, and they both had to pass through compliance. So we're pretty excited about that because we waited, and now they're actually going to be on the show. So that's super exciting. So that's next week. Everybody in Zoom, if you want to put your information in the chat.
Yeah, our idea is always to connect with one another. So put your name and LinkedIn profile at minimum in the chat and connect with one another.
So that's our cool intro. This is where we're going to pause and say, Jon, put in some fancy music right here when you do this replay. Pause.
For those of you just joining us, Jon is away today and I am playing Jon. So have fun with me, I guess, right?
So, Kim, what have you done with your business in this last week that's been anything to do with a financial mindset or anything to do with financial stuff?
Financial stuff. Well, I guess I'm trying to get a little bit better with pre-planning what's coming ahead. I have always just kind of taken, I think we spoke about it last week a little bit, the ebbs and flows, and you just kind of take your money as you get it. So I'm trying to kind of really get down and pre-plan what is coming, what's out due. And Tracy, I think last week you talked about having a calendar, like this is when this tool's due, this is when this tool's due. And I started really writing those things down because all of a sudden when I started my business, everything's due all at once. And then all of a sudden, I think it's, come July, a huge amount of tools all of a sudden need to reload. And then again in November, a whole bunch more need to reload. So I can at least have that financial idea that, hey, Kim, come July and November, you have a ton of stuff that you need to make sure that you're financially ready for.
Yeah. And it's not, I mean, it would be, you could put it in your calendar, I guess, and it could pop up and you could get an alert for it, but that's not going to save you. Like you need to know, you have to look at like the whole big picture. You have to look at Monday or January through December in a sheet of some sort that says, in January, you're going to pay out this much money in tools, because that could be totally different from a different month. And all of a sudden, and when you're, well, like me, I've got, my income fluctuates like crazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not so great. So
Mm-hmm.
it's an amazing amount of stuff that I have to think about when it comes to the financial aspects of all that. So, like I was saying last week, I've just resorted to just looking at it every day
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know how else to get around it. It goes by way too fast on me.
And I don't like surprises when it comes to money. I don't like surprises. I want to know exactly where I stand and what's going on with everything. So that's really important to me to
Mhm.
get a good grasp on it and make sure I'm ahead of the game and not just guessing. So,
Yeah. And then like there's some bigger tools like my hosting accounts. They come up every 3 years, and they're not, it's not small cash for those. Like that's a
right.
lot of money. And all of a sudden you get an email, oh, this is gonna renew next month for
Right.
like $1,500, and you're, whoa. I wasn't really quite prepared for
I'm not ready
that.
for that. So what about you,
So
Tracy? What did you do this week financially for your business?
financially for my business,
Yep.
I've been really working hard on my fish fry guide, um and trying to put some action into play. And I've gotten a hold of a couple of new salespeople that are going to help me that have never done sales before, and I've never done this before with this website. So it's a learning experience for all of us, but I
Maybe you
think it's
should
going to go.
explain a little bit of what your fish fry guide is, because it's pretty cool concept. And
Yeah,
not
so
everyone's from Wisconsin, so they don't know what a fish fry means.
right. Yeah. So a fish fry is on Friday nights in Wisconsin. People typically get together and have fried fish and French fries. It's been around a long time. There's some history behind it, some cat or some religion history behind it, and just um, I should really research that and put that on the website. That history that goes behind what a fish fry is in Wisconsin. But everybody in Wisconsin knows all about a fish fry. So, and old fashions, because they just go hand in hand. So, anyways, I have a website that a friend of mine built. Took him 10 years to build up all the clientele of this southeastern Wisconsin locations like Milwaukee, Racine, Kenosha, Washington, Waukesha. And there's 1,000 restaurants on there that serve fish fries in that in just in this area, the 1,000 different restaurants. So I've redesigned the website, and that's taken some doing. And now I'm in the process of going through all the different websites that are, or the restaurants that are on there, making sure that they're still open or closed. And we've created a model where we're going to create a community around the fish fry guide. And possibly at some point in the future, our goal is to have a summer event, because fish fries are normally pretty big in like February, March, and April during the whole Lent season. But then people have them, or the restaurants have them all year long, but then they're not, it's not as top of mind. So if we were to do an event in say August or September, like 6 months down the road, we could have like, you know how like they have chili cook-offs? We could have a potato pancake cook-off.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
we would do it all by food trucks or something. I'm thinking food trucks would be kind of cool because it's just basically fried stuff, and they could easily do that in a food truck.
She
And
spilled
Kim's
the
got a,
beans on a huge
yeah,
idea we've been planning for like 6 months.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you guys heard it here
So
first.
So I don't know when that's going to actually happen, but the whole
Mm-hmm.
goal behind the Friday Fish Fry Guide is to build the brand instead of, I mean, it's a directory, but it's going to be a brand. Like we're going to do a lot of fun stuff with it. So I'm pretty excited about that.
And
So
he's
that's what
put
I've been working on.
so much work into it, so much
Yeah.
work into it. And I'm tying into the food truck thing with doing food truck directory. So
Hmm.
we're kind of tying this all together. So it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with
Hmm.
Tracy.
Yeah. We have a lot of ideas over here. Lots of them.
Absolutely.
Um,
All kinds of varieties of fish that go into it too.
Oh,
That's awesome.
yes.
and
You
Yes.
on
know,
the fish,
smells.
on the fish fry guide, there is a listing of all you can search by the type of fish that you want to eat. So they're all organized that way. There's like 10 different kinds of fish that people eat. And potato pancakes are kind of popular too. Our quote for the day is
Money won't give you freedom. The ability to make it will. From Nelson Mandela.
That's a deep quote.
That is so deep. I love it. I am actually right now. I just linked the fish fry guide in the chat for you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Now you know what we're talking about.
Exactly. So in the chat today, why don't we talk about how do you reward yourself for achieving a financial goal? I have a little note from Jon. He says he goes to Sizzler.
That's
If anyone knows what Sizzler is, it's long gone, but it's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if everyone wants to talk in the chat about that, or if Tracy wants to go around the room.
Yeah. How about Van? How do you reward yourself for achieving your financial goals?
Well, you obviously have to go out and waste everything that you just achieved. So
yeah, see then, and then there's that. Yeah,
you got to be so careful of that. So obviously, you should have a plan in place for ahead of time for what if I hit this, what am I going to do about it? How am I going to celebrate, as opposed to just falling into a trap. So. Not spending if it's a financial goal. It's a walk, it's time in the park, it's something that probably isn't financially related.
Yeah.
Self-care.
Smart.
Nice. How about you, Bill?
My goal is not financial. It's skills and wisdom. I need more. I don't have a definitive there. I've achieved it. So wherever it is, when I get there, it'll need to be more the next day.
So you have no financial goals at all?
No. Because
just personal.
My financial goals are as much as possible. It's not like, because with what I do, it's all dependent upon what comes to me. And that can change and fluctuate at the whims of all kinds of other kinds of factors. It's one thing if you're producing a widget and you're distributing so many widgets and you're setting a goal to distribute this many more widgets to this many more outlets. Those kind of goals are easy. If you have a predictable weekly or monthly income, then those goals become easy. With me, nothing is predictable except that I'm going to try to be the damn best I can be.
Well, that gives us some insight to think on things differently.
Mm-hmm.
How about you? Do you have yourself for achieving any financial goals?
I'm sorry. Who were you asking, me?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. My speaker clicked out for a second.
Yeah, mine did too.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just me. All right. For achieving financial goals, I'm with Van. I'm not gonna reward myself by running out and spending the money. That doesn't work for me, but I do spend time. I will probably spend time with some friends celebrating it, talking about it, because I'm an extrovert. I need to get out and talk to people. And like as not, I'll probably spend it on something. I would probably spend it on spending time on something like, okay, now I've achieved this in my work time. That means I can go out and take a walk, something like that to equal out.
I'm sensing a theme of time. I love it.
There's a theme here.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Let's see if Al's on the same theme. Al, same thing?
Good morning. Having been worked in a financial background many moons, I enjoy when I achieve a goal. I know that I'm achieving also a goal for other people, and I carry them with me. When I am, if you will, successful in a goal, my community, people that I help in different areas become successful also. So it raises others. So that gives me satisfaction knowing achieving that goal, achieved goals for other people. And the financial rewards go along with it at the end of the year or whenever, depending how long your goal is. It could be a trip. It could be, gosh, I'm going to get myself a really unique car if I achieve this goal. Because again, it's other people help you achieve the goal. It's not just I, me, me, me. So together we achieve goals. So it's good stuff.
Nice.
Love that. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who else do we
Sheila
have,
says
Joanna?
that sounds like something Nelson Mandela would say.
How about Joanna?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm kind of with Bill on that. I'm always looking to make more money, but my goals are family goals in many ways. I manage the family finances, and we celebrate milestones together, my husband and I, usually by going out for dinner, but we don't do anything really rash. But traveling is a goal. So making more money so that we can travel more once things open up. We were able to go to see our son finally in Oregon around Christmas time. That got delayed by various circumstances, and we finally got out there and had a really nice time with him before Omicron came along and ruined everything. So, once things open up again, we want to do some more traveling, and I'd like to do some traveling where I can do some photography while I'm away and help pay for it. That's my goal.
It's a great goal. I love that. Absolutely love that. Well, I think we've caught everyone that has their video on.
Karen just came in.
Oh, Karen did just come in.
Yeah. Karen, we're talking about how do you reward yourself for achieving a financial goal?
Oh, well, I have quarterly goals for myself. So I bought myself a necklace for the last one. Actually, I got it for free. It was something that I wanted. So free was even better. And this quarter, so I ordered some new business cards from Vistaprint. And, at the end they have, you can order this tablet and it has your logo on it. You can order these pens and it has your logo on it. Well, when I got to the baseball style cap that was white and it had my logo on it, and if anybody's seen my logo, it's very colorful. It stands out. That's my goal for this quarter.
Okay.
But I do have daily goals for just the work that I do. So, because sometimes the work that I do can be very intense. And so I just reward myself. So I have something waiting for myself at the end of the day.
Nice. It's good to reward yourself in some way, somehow, either with time or a physical thing, something. Well, this is where I'm going to break for Jon and say, this is our vitamins for the soul segment break. So Jon can put it in there. So Jon, you can cut this part out and you can put in the vitamins for the soul here. Okay, moving on.
All right. We're moving on to Yamil Cruz. So while I am getting ready, I am going to add him as a spotlight. He's a 12-year active duty Marine Corps veteran who was exposed to an opportunity 8 years ago, an opportunity to build business where he was in control. Together with his partner and better half, Brenda Cruz, they are on a mission to change not only their family future, but that of the people who have trusted them with mentoring them. So welcome, Yamil.
And his journey began on March of 2014, and through the mentoring of great individuals and the combined experience of his mistakes, they developed a system to help anyone achieve the results they desire. They help people in all areas of financial services, as clients, but the real service they provide is the opportunities for others to win, for others to own a business of their own.
So Yamil, let's start with we were going to start with a different question, but do you have, how do you reward yourself for reaching a financial goal? We're going to start with that.
Well, first of all, good morning, everybody. It's
Good
been
morning.
a busy few months, so thanks so much for having me. Yeah, one of my mentors says that small winning leads to big winning. So whenever we go for the smaller goal, we do take some time. Maybe we take hours off, not days off, and do something with the family. Like just 2 Sundays ago, the kids wanted to go jumping, so we went on the little jumping thing, and I was sore like the entire week after that, but we did something like that. But yeah, the one thing that I've always been very adamant about is that whenever a goal gets achieved, you take a little bit of time of the day and you celebrate with the people that you're doing the work for. But at the same time, in my family, we do, a little meeting and we say, okay, so what's going to be the next goal? Because, we want to continue to stretch, right? We don't want to settle. So that's part of what we do. We go do a little bit of our fun and then we find out, okay, what's going to be the next thing? And that's kind of how we reward ourselves.
Excellent. All right, we're diving right into Yamil's stuff. What is the recommended amount people should save?
Yeah, that is a loaded question.
Yes. We're getting right in.
It is a very loaded question. It is actually very interesting that you asked that. When I first started in this industry, I had no idea. I'm probably like a lot of people. I come from a military background, so all I knew was, how to count bullets. I think that's okay to say on the live stream. But learning some of the basic concepts of what we teach nowadays, there's something that's very common among almost every advisor that I've ever had the opportunity to meet with. And there's a formula. They said that it's recommended that you put away anywhere from 10 to 20% of your monthly income, your take-home pay, and you put that into, places like, I don't know, a Roth IRA or a place where you're going to get a high return, right? So you want to be investing more than saving, right? I think that there's a misconception of saving versus investing. And yes, you should save money. You should have, like the typical 6 months emergency fund, all of that. But the key for people to really achieve financial success is that they put themselves on track so that by the time they retire, there's liquid money available. And the magic number I find is usually 20% of their income.
Very cool.
So that I was waiting to see that you were going to give a number for that, but you gave a percentage. So that didn't make it seem as difficult then.
It's so easy, because the thing is, you mentioned something earlier, Tracy. You said, well, your income, comes up and down depending on the seasons and the months, right? I know we just came off the holidays. So, a lot of our incomes are probably all-time high because, you did more. But at those times, you still stick to that 20%. Then some months, maybe you put a little bit more. Some months you put a little bit less. But, that, like they said, like 10% should be the bare minimum that you put aside. 20% is the magic number. And of course, for us of us that are believers, I think somebody just actually posted it on the chat. You take away your tithing and you put it away, right? To God, what's God, and to Caesar, what's Caesar's, right? Because then God will continue to bless you. But when it comes to the personal life and your family matters, 20% seems to be the number where you hit it in the head. It doesn't matter if you're making $1 million a month, you still put 20% aside. When you get to retire, you're going to be very comfortable if you do that.
I want to be comfortable. I like the idea. I do.
So, what is the proper strategy to plan our finances?
Wow. Another powerful question, right?
Yeah.
Proper strategy, number one, is get started. I think that a lot of the times where we made the mistake is on getting started. Like we say, yeah, we're going to start saving money, and then all of a sudden life comes and you stop saving money. You don't put anything aside. So that's the first thing that you need to put on your strategy is just start somewhere. Then from there, what I would say is find someone that's a professional. You wouldn't ask a basketball player how to play baseball, unless you're maybe Michael Jordan, right? If you're Michael Jordan and you did both things, maybe, you have some experience. But the truth is, if you want to achieve financial success, There's a lot of people out there that have done it before you. So find a mentor that can mentor you, and then find a professional that can manage your accounts. Saving money and investing should be something that happens on autopilot. So you set yourself with somebody that every month they said, okay, look, before the money even comes out, I'm going to take the 20%, I'll invest it for you. And then down the road, you're going to be okay financially. And there's, millions, actually, there's not millions, there's 400,000 advisors across the United States, which is crazy. I just found that number. 400,000 of them, on that industry, and they're dwindling down because a lot of people in the industry, they're getting older. They don't transfer their book of business, or they sell their book of business and they give it to somebody else. And nothing wrong with getting older, but you want to have, you want to have a professional, you want to have a professional manage that. I'll tell you this, Al, being older comes with its benefits. The experience that you have, it's invaluable. See, there's no way that, and there is a way for me to get the same experience that you have, but you lived it. For me to gain the same experience that you've had, I have to read about it. Another thing, part of your strategy is read. I'm an avid reader. I'm on track to read 24 books this year, about 2 books every month. And so we pick up books, one for personal development, one for your skill set. So pick up a book about finances. You'll find out that what I'm talking about, that 10 to 20%, is very consistently said on those books too.
Amazing.
How do you find time to read 2 books in a month?
Well, we actually have something called a book club with my guys. I have a group of people that work with me that I personally mentor. And so, we've committed to 10 pages a day, every day. Before 9 a.m., we have to post 5 things you get from your 10 pages that you read. And, the truth is, if you're reading 10 pages in a month, that's 60 pages, it seems. But there's some books that are bigger, some books that are smaller. Typically what ends up happening is you're constantly reading, and then you end one, you pick up the other one. Now, on top of that, I'm part of another book club. I got the idea from another book club from a very successful woman in business. She does insurance, particularly in the West Coast. And so she started this book club idea where, it's crazy, right? The standards are pretty high. It started with 300 people, 300 professionals in the San Diego area. It is down now to 18. And so I've been privileged to stay in there because there's rules. You read your 10 pages, you post about your 10 pages, and you have to post about those 10 pages, nothing else. If you post something that is not what you read, if you don't post at all, if you post a minute late, you get removed from the group. So, it's about having that discipline. It's about having discipline.
Wow.
Accountability is fantastic with that. And 10 pages doesn't seem like a lot, when chances are you're probably going to do more than 10.
Even if you're late, like 5 minutes.
Tracey doesn't like
you read more than 10 pages in social media, I promise you. If you sit there and you scroll through your phone on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, that's more than 10 pages, and you spend maybe 30 minutes doing that.
For sure. So, on the show, we talk a lot about mindset. It almost always comes back to mindset. So what do you think, Yamil, is the mindset of a successful entrepreneur?
Figuring it out. In the military, we have a saying, right? Especially in the Marine Corps, we say adapt and overcome, and then, we also have a little joke, a running joke that is called break it down Barney style. So whenever you're working with a project, you want to look at the project and say, okay, how can I make this very difficult task as simple as possible for me to understand and to relate it to somebody else? And look, you're going to hit roadblocks. You're going to always. The beauty about business, probably the beauty and the curse, is that when you decide to go into business for yourself, life will come at you hard. I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, and I think that, God called us to be great. And so people that go into business more than anybody else have a calling to become great in business, because by you servicing, the community, you're doing God's work. Well, guess what? If you believe, that there's God, and then there's also the other guy, right? And the other guy doesn't want you to succeed. He wants you to stay where you are, maybe poor, maybe depressed. So what's he's going to do? He's going to throw curveballs at you. And the difference between the ones that make it and the ones that don't is the ones that say, okay, I'm going through this, but I'm going to figure it out. Let me see how can I figure this out. I get this roadblock. Okay, how do I, go maybe a little to the right or a little to the left to go about it? There's a great picture on social media, and I wish I had it available, but I don't. And it's a picture of a road. I still remember it's a road actually in Australia, and there's a really big boulder on the road. And there's a grass to the right and grass to the left, and they're running, and they see that big boulder, and they said, okay, there's a boulder, it's on the road, what are we going to do? And one of the guys means, what do you mean we can go around it? He said, no, but this is the road, we got to stay on the road. And the guy said, yeah, but our goal is not to stay on the road, our goal is to get to the destination. So why are we going to let this big boulder stop us from just getting there? No, we got to move it out of the way. And if you have the ability to, yes, you remove the boulder because that's going to make the path easier for everybody else. But you can also say, okay, well, the boulder is not going anywhere. It's too heavy for us to move it. Why don't we go around it? And guess what? The next person sees you and they go around it. And then the one that sees them does it too. And eventually you just made a road that now has a wind to it. And you wind around the road instead of going through that rock.
I like it.
Does the rock happen to diminish over time? Like when the rain falls on it, it slows down, it goes away, it melts.
Absolutely.
And then somebody comes along and then they're able to remove it. And then you feel like, God, I wish I would have thought of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, there's if you guys have read anything about Steve Jobs, Steve just has a very powerful saying that says that you can never connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. And when I first heard that, I said, that makes absolutely no sense. I'm trying to get somewhere. I need to connect the dots now. But then I got to realize that that's what I'm saying, happened to be the truth. He said, look, you can stay there on the problem and trying to figure out how to maneuver around it, or you can just get it going, just go around the problem. Eventually, you're going to look back and you're going to realize that that big problem was very little because now your mindset is completely different. What used to be very big today is going to be like a joke in the future. And then you're going to sit around a campfire, maybe having some, fish fries and talk about how, oh man, I can't believe I was breaking my head over that problem. Look how small it was. Yeah. And it's all about that mindset.
That is so true. I've experienced that where you think it's so big. And then all of a sudden a year later, you look back at that going, God, that was nothing compared to what I'm doing now.
Exactly. Exactly.
Bill put some really long information in the chat. Bill, you want to share your information there?
Yeah, Yamil, first of all, fantastic, dude. I mean, I love the wisdom that you put forth. I enjoy your conversations very much. Is in the process of what you just shared with us, you mentioned age, okay? And in my mind always connects with something. When something sparks over here, it connects with something over here. And I had just come across this in the last couple of weeks, showing that really, because a lot of people think, well, I'm getting to the 60s, I'm going to be cashed in soon, I'm going to retire here and everything else like that, and nobody in their 30s appreciate me anymore. They think I'm a fossil or whatever the case is. And this just demonstrates conclusively that for many people, their most productive, prolific years are after 60 years old, into their 70s and some into their 80s. I mean, remember, the commonly used example is Colonel Sanders. What was that like? He was 68 or 69 when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken, and the examples abound. But I thought that this might be encouraging to some people out there.
Hey,
This
Bill.
is so powerful.
Bill, do you think there's a connection between the productivity, everybody being so productive in their 60s and 70s, and the fact that most people retire in their 60s and 70s and do what they really want to do?
No, because these people haven't retired.
Yeah, but I mean, retired from the day job, and then I know so many people who have started successful businesses after they retired from the day job.
Sure. Okay. Yes, I can give it that. But they probably don't win Nobel Prizes and stuff.
Oh no,
Okay.
they had to. You have to start a lot sooner
Yeah.
than when those guys.
These people are people that continued and did not say, "I'm going to retire."
Yeah.
Man, I'm not in the ground yet. It is goes to Al. He's tired. He may be tired, but he's not retired, or he's retired but not tired. It's one of those two.
Yeah.
Well, I think that comes
The
down
latter.
to
But
you.
you know, Joanna, when I get there, I'll let you know how it feels.
Yeah, well, I said I'm not retired. People say to me something about me retiring because my husband retired. And I said, I'm not retired until they prise the camera out of my cold dead hands. So.
Yeah.
I think that comes down to you're realizing that at the later years, you look back and you say, man, what did I do with my life? What you're saying is so crazy powerful, because a lot of people, experience, that's why I say experience plays a huge role. So you wake up one day at 65 years old and then you said, man, I wish I would have done more with my life. And then all of a sudden you look back and you say, wait, hold on. I'm still alive. What can I do now with the next 20 years? And that's why, achievement happens probably at those ages more than any other age, because awareness is different too.
And then you've got this thing that's all full of all this knowledge and wisdom that you've accumulated. So, like, what am I going to do with it?
Yeah.
Friend of
Can't get
mine,
tired. Can't get tired.
I'm going to be late for my own funeral. You know that. But a friend turned 90. His vision, you believe that he's as active as I am almost when we get together. He called me the other day, hey, Al, I just saw something. I heard this and that. And I'm 25% bonus money. I mean, he's active. And the thing is to be active. Whatever your choices are, stay active.
Oh yeah.
And I'm retired. I don't know, 65. That's just a number. Yeah. So you just go for it and keep going and thank the Lord for the blessings every day, because it's a privilege really to be able to, like I say, wow. Somebody gives me, how you doing? I'm not so good. I said, what do you mean you're not so good? Look at us. We're both vertical. That's a great beginning.
Yeah.
Just what's got between your ears to gives us all of it that we need. But how much do we apply for His glory and for other people? So we're saying before, if we can bless somebody, we give. We'll get it back sooner or later. It'll come back. Life is exciting.
Okay.
Tomorrow,
I may not be
here. I'm sorry. I talk
Are you good?
a lot.
It's okay, Al. It's okay.
I thought you were
not
done.
tired, guys.
You weren't done. You weren't done yet. You're not tired yet.
Not yet.
Oh, we love Al.
Life is good.
There's a
That's what
There's
you
a
make
question
of it.
in the chat though for you, Emil.
What is the one single greatest word of wisdom you have ever learned in your lifetime?
Let me think. Yep, everybody believes that it can be done until it is. That's one thing that I heard. I heard that years ago, and it still sticks with me. If you take my background, I'm from Puerto Rico, born and raised. English is my second language. You guys probably noticed, I have an accent still. And so in my land, it's very easy for people to say, oh, you're never going to achieve anything significant in your life. And so you think it's difficult until it is done. And then people, then they call you lucky. They say, oh, he just got lucky. So yes, that's probably one of the best words of wisdoms that I've gotten, Bill. Thanks for the question.
Love it. I am putting a link for Yamil in the chat, which is right on our website. So if you guys want to connect with him, we have great links right to him right on the website. So definitely connect with him.
Yamil, do you have anything that you want to offer our guests today? Any promotions or specials or anything you got?
Well, I actually will do this. I typically don't do this, but I will today. On Thursday, Thursdays. We do it every Thursday, but this following Thursday, we're actually opening a session from a gentleman that we are paying over $8,000 a month for him to mentor us in business. He's a business coach, a business mentor. You know, he's very exclusive with the people that he work with, and we only have it available to our people. But what I'm going to do is anybody that reaches out to me, you know, directly, let me know if you're interested in that. And then I will give you access to the entire session. It's from 6 p.m. Pacific to 8 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, 6 to 8 Pacific. So I believe that's probably going towards midnight for you guys. But you know what? Success doesn't care about what time of the day it is. If you want to grow, you know, I'm good, but this guy is great. And I always want to put myself around people that are great. That's the one thing that I'll do for everybody in this group. Just make sure that you put the Connect show on the message, so I know that this is where you got it from. Otherwise, we won't let you in.
That sounds fabulous. Wow, is that
Yeah.
gracious? Absolutely
Yeah.
gracious.
Well, thanks to you, Emil, for joining us today. I'm so excited to have you on here. We're all inspired to do great things and get our money mindset right and save 20%.
You definitely sparked some fabulous conversation today. So thank you so much. Yes, I'm going to work at that 20.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Emil. And then I think now we are off to our networking report, and we don't have to go far because Kim's right there.
I know. I'm just going to keep you next to me, Tracy, because we don't have a fun image to put next to me. So you can just hang out next to me. How does that sound?
Cool. Sounds good.
All right. So, one thing that I'm going to focus on today, if you did not know, now you know, we have an event calendar on the website, and you can add your upcoming events for free to the calendar. And so today I am going to highlight two of the events that have been added to our calendar. Yes, some people out there are listening. The first event is a ladies' night out at the Oak Creek Community Center, 8550 South Howell. And it is for, I did not put the date on here. Well, anyways, it is for over 40 women business owners and vendors to see. There's food and cash bar available. And you guys, it is free. So this is February 18th. From 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 Central. Again, it's in Oak Creek, and I will put a link in the chat so you guys can check all this out and you can see it right on our website. And then Miss Karen Willens, who attends just about every week the Connect Show, is having her next workshop in her series, which is building relationships and trust. Know yourself before you sell yourself. And it's going to be the third Monday of every month, January through June. You do not need to attend one workshop to attend the next. So I will link that in the chat. And then Tracy and I, every single week, we have think tanks. So think tanks are a lot of fun. They're great for your business. We have a topic at every event and we expand upon that topic. The topics rotate. It's rarely the same. Sometimes we talk about quotes. Sometimes we talk about budgets. It's always different. We talk about social media. We talk about all kinds of stuff. And that is every Monday at 6 p.m. or every Thursday at 2 p.m. and that's Central Time. That's where we met Yamil, actually, was at a think tank. So definitely join us for those. And I will put links to all kinds of fun networking stuff in the chat. But if you have something going on, add it to our calendar because you never know who might see it or if I might highlight it on the next networking report. Never know.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Mm-hmm. That's a good little plug there. Like you're not just getting it on the calendar. You don't know where that event's going to end up being told.
You never know. You never, ever know. So I am putting all that in the chat right now. So have fun. Join different stuff and tell us about it. I want to hear about it.
Thanks, Kim, for the networking report. That was pretty informative, pretty cool. And we're off to our next guest. Megan is a speaker, coach, and published author. She pours into the small business community, providing education and support to starting and growing businesses. As your accounting and tax sidekick, she and her team are here to help us understand, use, and grow.
When she's not working to change the world of small business, she enjoys exploring new places and experience with her kids. All right, let me get Megan on here. I'm sorry I missed that part. I'm failing at my job today, you guys.
Well, you got a lot to handle. You're
There we go. There we go.
There you go. Welcome, Megan.
Hi, Megan.
So the question of the day. What's our question? Oh yeah, how do you reward yourself for your financial goals?
For financial goals. I think I usually try to do something with my kids. So usually if I hit a financial goal, we go maybe out to eat or go do an activity. So something to celebrate together.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's who you're working for it for, right? As the kids. So
right. Yes.
Yes,
exactly.
rewarding them as well is amazing.
Yeah.
So Megan, can you tell us a little bit about your business and where did you get your start doing accounting?
Yeah, so I own Sidekick Accounting. We've been in business 8 years, and I like to kind of say I fell into it. I was working, well, actually, let me back up a little bit. So I was a teen mom. I got pregnant in high school and had to discover, what I was going to do to support my child. And I had a knack for accounting. So my teacher in high school said that I should think about making it a career. And so I did. I decided to go into accounting. I knew I could make good money in that field. And it was something that I liked and made sense. And so that's what I did. So after college, during college, I met my husband. After college, I got a full-time job working in the accounting department at a manufacturing company. And then I got pregnant with my second child and decided not to go back to work full time. So I got a job as a bookkeeper at a landscaping company. And then my full-time job called me back and said that the person that they hired to replace me wasn't working out. So they created a part-time position for me. So I was working basically 2 part-time jobs, mostly from home with a baby. And then my daughter was in school by then. And I did that for about 2 years. And then I got laid off of both of the jobs within about a month of each other. So it was just kind of like, oh, now what? Had responsibilities, providing for a family. So I just kind of thought I was doing the bookkeeping for the landscaping company. I could probably do that for other companies and continue to work, mostly at home. So I started reaching out to people on LinkedIn. I had a friend from high school who was working in Texas as a oil surveyor. So he was a contractor. So he'd send me these big envelopes every quarter filled with receipts that I would sort through and categorize. And then he got like 4 or 5 other guys that he worked with to do the same thing. And that was pretty much just kind of how I started growing. I made a lot of connections, did a lot of education. I always wanted to be a teacher. So kind of going back to the connecting the dots thing, it's so true. Like you just never know what your past and experiences are going to do to connect the dots that, forge your future. And I see that so often in my life. So now kind of my start is what drives what we do at Sidekick. So we focus a lot on helping and empowering owners to understand their numbers and how to use them so that they can grow profitable and successful companies as well. I'm now a single mom of 4 kids. So my business is my livelihood, and that's usually the case for other small businesses. So, taking my own journey and experience and growing my own business, and I have a team of employees. I have 7 employees now. So growing a successful business is something I've experienced myself, and now I can help other people do the same thing with their business. And it's a lot of fun. It's something, new and different all the time. And I just love having conversations with people to kind of help them figure out what they want out of their business so that their business can work for them too.
Oh, that's super inspiring.
Right.
Be able to handle all that. And I mean, you're CEO of it. That sounds awesome.
There's nothing madness.
You kind of talked about it, but how long have you been in accounting now?
So I actually started interning when I was 15. So it's been over 15 years of, experience in the accounting field. And then I have my bachelor's in accounting as well. So and you know, there's so much that you learn in school when you do small business that's different than, you know, what you learn in school. It's a lot of, you know, conversations and, you know, you're talking to what regular people, right? They're people without business degrees. They're people without, you know, this acumen to know, you know, terms and stuff. So a lot of times, you know, what we bring is often education, you know, just kind of teaching people how to run a business, because you start doing this thing that you enjoy doing. And then before you know it, it's like this big, huge thing. And you're like, what is going on? Like, what do I do next? And how do I start thinking about this as a CEO instead of just doing the thing? So especially depending on what your goal is, there's just so much more. Even my own experience, you know, it was like, oh, I can do this bookkeeping thing, but now it's like, I don't even do the bookkeeping anymore. I'm managing my team and having sales conversations and educating and, you know, building culture, you know. I'm not doing the thing anymore, but that's because my goal is for my business to run without me, you know. So depending on where your goal, you really have to kind of work backwards to figure out what those pieces need to be for you. And that's a big part of what we help our business owners do, because everything goes back to the numbers, as I'm sure Van can attest to as well. Being a CPA, all of your decisions need to go back to your numbers so you can make data-driven decisions instead of just off-the-cuff decisions. So I've, you know, been doing it for a very long time now, or not very long, I guess, in retrospect, right? It hasn't been that long, but it's a good enough time that I'm able to help other people do the same thing on theirs.
You're teaching it now. So you're teaching others your value, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. This is probably what I enjoy the most.
Yeah, so you've been growing a lot with your business. I'm curious about how your growth is going. Like, how many people do you have working with you, and what are the areas that you specialize in? Tell us a little bit more about your overall like business. What does it look like? Yeah.
Yeah, and business growth is such a interesting thing, I guess you could say. So last year I hired 3 people. So now I have 7 employees, and we work with almost close to 70 clients monthly, because we do mostly monthly bookkeeping, but then we also have annual tax clients, and now we started doing tax planning as well. So, you know, when it comes to growing, you have to go back to the numbers, you know, think about those as to like when you have to, you know, start making changes in terms of like adding maybe a location or employees or whatever that looks like for you. So you got to kind of know what those numbers are. Like, what does it take to get those clients? You know, how much time do you have to spend on that? But then you also have to think about what your time is worth. You know, as a CEO and as a business owner, your time is valuable, and you should be using your time for revenue generating activities, and pretty much everything else that you don't enjoy or are not revenue generating should be delegated, you know. And so if you're looking to build and you're looking to increase, there's only so much you can do. And so those are kind of the things that you have to start thinking about is, what is my time worth? What could I be doing with my time if I was paying somebody, you know, $15 an hour when my time's worth $100 an hour, so that I can start building that revenue in that business to be what I want it to be, you know. And sometimes it's just a matter of, you know, becoming more niche down, you know. So niching down is one way to really target into, you know, higher revenue. But then also growing your team to be able to have a bigger impact and expansion of what you're doing is another thing to consider as well. So that's kind of been my growth story. Those were things I had to consider along the way. I know when I did work a year part-time after I started my business. But it got to a point where it was like, I was too busy, you know, so I had to make this calculated risk. If I spent the 20 hours, you know, doing things that would help me bring in more clients instead of working for somebody else, I could bridge that gap, you know. So I wasn't quite ready to do it, but I took that leap. And I think being a business owner, you have a lot of those times where you have to make calculated risk and kind of just jump into the thing to be able to grow the way you want.
It's a scary first jump, but like once you do it, you know, you could see the reward. You got to balance that risk versus reward, and it paid off for you.
It did. Yeah. And now we get to impact a lot of other people's lives. So, you know, in businesses, which is really what our goal is to, one of the things that I say a lot is, we help empower business owners so that they can provide for their families, communities, and futures. So going back to what Emil was talking about, retirement, because so many business owners forget about that piece of it, and then they get later on in years and they're like, oh crap, like I didn't think about this part. So that's another thing we start talking with our business owners a lot earlier about now too, is things like insurance and doing the taxes, but then also retirement savings, because those are things that make you successful. It's a whole circle. You got to have all these different pieces in order to be really truly successful.
Absolutely. We do have a few questions in the chat. Sheila wants to know, are all your clients virtual or local?
So we are a virtual firm, national virtual firm. So we have clients nationally. Because I've been pounding the pavement for 8 years in the Wisconsin area, a lot of our clients are in Wisconsin, but even pre-COVID, we do things pretty much all virtually. We don't meet with clients too much in person anymore. Pre-COVID, but now, especially after COVID, we're pretty much virtually, but physically located. Good question.
Do you do most of your stuff then over Zoom then, and all of your clients are perfectly okay with that?
Yeah, yep. All of our clients are pretty much all okay with that. In fact, I think they actually kind of like it better, because then it's not, trying to coordinate a meeting or, drive time. Like, it saves them time, it saves us time, to being able to do that. And all of our clients have 2 people that work on their accounts. So then in case somebody's, sick or off or whatever, we just cross-training purposes, there's always 2 people that are on the account. So usually we have 2 of our bookkeepers, or our manager and one of our bookkeepers, meeting with our clients. So it just helps make that easier, because my staff is all virtual too. So
very smart.
Nice. And Joanna has a question too. As a mother, what advice do you give your children about money?
Oh, that's a good question. Feel a little bit on the spot here. We are a Christian family as well. So we do tithing first, and then also saving, and a lot of times, like, I challenge my kids, because my kids are 16, 9, 4, and 3. So this is not the conversation with the 4 and the 3-year-olds, but for my 16 and 9-year-olds, a lot of times I'll challenge them. So like, if they want to spend their money on something, I challenge them to think about, whether it's a short-term pleasure, I guess you could say, or if it's something that they're looking for later. So with my daughter, it's her car. So she actually has long-term savings and then her short-term savings. So that's what I really try to challenge them with, is just understanding what the value of money is, and then being able to think proactively, because I'm really big about proactive thinking. So, thinking in the future, not just in the now, about what you want to do with your money or what you have. So that's usually the advice that we talk a lot about when it comes to money.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. Yeah. Yamil wants to know, what is next for you and your business?
So this year, we are going to double. I'm speaking it into existence. Yes. We are going to double. So we are really solidly set up for that. So now it's just getting the sales funnel and the marketing, that stumbled out, marketing set up and organized, because that's the one part of my business that is still reliant on me, and I tend to bottleneck everything. So I'm trying to work on getting systems in place for sales and marketing, so that I'm not the only person doing that piece of it. And that's really the big goal for this year, is that. So our goal is to double, to increase our impact. This year, we also started our Power Up program, which is kind of a give back program. So we have 3 business owners that we're doing accounting for the year, or 6 months. There's one that's 6 months, and then 2 that are for a year, that they're getting our accounting services, our bookkeeping services for a very, very discounted price. So that's kind of the way that we're giving back to help them grow as well. And I'm hoping to expand on that program into the future as well.
So when you say double in size, are you saying double in income or double in size of your business, like physical size, like people, or both?
Oh, that's a good specification. Revenue was the double in revenue, but we will more than double in client size if we do that. So from a bookkeeping perspective, you know, because we've got a few different streams of revenue. So our goal was on our bookkeeping side to double. So
nice. Well, thank you, Megan. Do you have anything that you want to offer our guests today? Anything, any specials or promotions or anything going on that you want to offer our guests?
Yeah, so I do free consultations, 30-minute consultations. If you have questions about taxes or your business, or you just want to bounce ideas or just have a conversation, I would love to do that. So I have a link on our website, Sidekick-Accounting. I'm sure it's on the link from the Connect show, or you can just connect with me directly and we can get something set up for that. I'd love to talk more.
So
Great.
Amazing. Thank you, Megan, so much.
Yeah, I've known Megan for a while now, and I think I like at least 5-6 years ago, I think now, and
I think it was probably actually closer to 7 or 8, because I think it had first started and me and Tracy graciously let me do a workshop, and it was so much fun. And that was probably one of the first times that I actually like did teaching on small business. So it was really cool. So yeah, it's been a long time, Tracy.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but our journeys have gone the same way, and we've taken our different paths, and we've kind of watched each other from the sidelines, I think, a little bit. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a cool story. Thank you, Megan. That's so cool.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay, we're off to the end of our show here, Miss Kim.
We are. So again, I'm going to talk about Epic Networking. I did put a link in the chat earlier for that. I will put it in again. It is on Friday. It is free. There are members that come from across the country. Epic is a national networking group that has recently branched into Wisconsin. So we're really excited to do that. And it's tied directly in with the Connect show, and it's free. So we'll put that in the chat.
And thank you for everybody for coming today. Thank you for our guests and my co-host Kim today, because John was not able to be here. And to Serendipity Labs, because they are one of our sponsors, but they're changing their name, and I don't know what they're called yet now, but we'll figure that out. And next week, we're going to talk about finances again with Taylor Scott and Sean Stockman. So I'm pretty looking forward to that. I think that's all we got.
Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Thank you, Megan and Yamil, and for everyone helping keep the show runs smoothly. It was my first time co-hosting. So it was
you
fun.
Rocked it.
Thank you.
It was easy peasy for you.
It was easy. Tracy and I just yes. I didn't put that in the chat yet. I even got the old floppy disks to put in there. So definitely save the chat. Hold on, I'm putting it in right now. And there you go. I don't think those are floppy disks. Those might be the 3.
Those are like disk drives.
But we'll see. Who even knows what those are anymore? I don't know. I do. I know. So
3 1/4. They don't go back as far as the 5.5 or whatever they were.
Yeah.
There you go.
3.5 and 5 1/4.
3.5-inch floppies. That's right.
3.5 inch.
That's right. So I know what they are. I grew up in a computer house, so I know what they are.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you for coming. That's the end of our show.
That is it.
All right.
That's a wrap.
And we got to stop the live streaming, Tracy.
Oh, that's me.
Yes,
Stop.
that's you.
Good job, you guys.
Why, thanks. And we're no longer live streaming. Everyone did great.
We're
Thank
good?
you.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
That was fun.
Oh, no, it says we're still live on custom streaming service.